Hi, I'm Alex. I apologize for my PowerPoint because I haven't made one since high school, and I made this morning. And I also don't do anything directly tech related. I own a restaurant on the Lower East Side. Oh, and I want to say thank you to Jay for having me here and letting us sponsor everything. It's Los Perros Locos. We do Colombian style hot dogs, which is kind of a crazy new thing. At least I think so. So I'm just going to talk a little about social networking and how it's helped to actually increase our brick and mortar store business. And if anyone can take anything away from that, all the better. So, all right. So basically, I'm going to focus on the bottom one, which is reputation management on review sites like Yelp. But I'll go through the first things. The three things I really see the benefit of as far as social networking, social media, and brick and mortar business are driving business directly, which is like ads, deals, things like that. At any given time, I'm running a Facebook ad. I don't put a ton of money into it, probably about $100 a month. I promote different posts, things like that. We also do some deals. I tend to shy away from Groupon and Living Social because I feel like they have too many things on them. They're not specific at all. You have like nail salons and gardening stores and restaurants, and I use Groupon myself, but I don't use it at the restaurant. I just started with Blackboard Eats, which is pretty cool. A lot of people follow that. Where you follow Blackboard Eats, and they give you a 30% discount or whatever it is at the restaurant, give you a code to redeem it. And so far I've had a few people from that. It only started yesterday, so that's good. I think one of the two bigger ones than actually directly driving people in the traditional sense would be the second one. Oh, what am I doing here? Brand management, which is just generally upkeeping your brand. You can't not have an active Facebook page right now for anything. I feel that anyway. And by active, I mean you have to have people who follow it and are interested in it. If you have 32, for me, if I see a business that has 32 followers on Facebook, I kind of don't take them seriously. I think that's kind of an important thing right now. So in the beginning, sometimes you have to sort of promote and bring followers in. Once you have them, I have 3,500 now. It's just something that when people look you up, they see your Facebook and they see that you're serious about what you do, and which I think is cool. So there's that. Reputation management is what I'm mainly going to talk about. I think it's really applicable to restaurants and any kind of retail environment. You can't discount it, which is the next thing. Oh, no, the next thing is this. Basically, what review sites are to me is like a crowdsourced opinion. Whereas 10 years ago, 15 years ago, restaurants would post up a picture of all the food critics in the office or in the server station, so that you knew if you saw that food critic come in that you should go out and make sure everything's perfect, and make sure the bread's warm, and all this and that and the other thing. And that is becoming more and more obsolete, not only in the restaurant industry, but in theater and retail and everything that's out there. Because I don't read Siskel and Ebert's reviews. I read people on IMDb's reviews on movies. I don't care what I don't. They're dead. I don't know. But like living critics, I don't read them. I read what people say, people like me ostensibly say. Same with restaurants. I mean, you ask me where I'm going to eat after this, I'm going to go on my Yelp app on my phone and look at what's number 1 or number 2. And if I want something more specific, I'm going to look up Indian on my Yelp app and see which one. So I really think that's just, you can't discount how important that is right now. And it's just, I think in a couple of years, you're not going to really have traditional critics in the way that we have in the past. Basically, who needs the opinion of one, who needs the opinion of many. I'm not even saying I believe in this, just that's the way it is. Yelp is probably the most important for me. Fucking Yelpers. Wrong attitude. I managed to place in the Upper East Side. We had a chef, and every time a bad Yelp review came in, he'd be like, "Oh, she was probably old and couldn't chew food." There was always something that they had to say about it, and that can't be the attitude you have. Not in New York where rents are this high and where you have to be bringing people in constantly. You cannot have that screw Yelp. Those people want to be food critics. Even if you might think it, you cannot act on it. In my feeling. Okay. You can't ignore it. You have to take control of your site. Why? See the right. It's small. It's a bad graphic. I'm bad with graphics and such. But you see, I Googled Los Perros Locos, which is my restaurant. The first thing that comes up is content I created, or my team created for our website. But the second thing that comes up is Yelp. And to be quite honest, I mean, from my own behavior when I'm looking stuff up, I'm not too interested in people's websites, and maybe just for the hours of operation or whatever, but I don't read too much into it. I'm more interested in what other people have to say. So Yelp has that nice little, 4 stars, so it's got a visual to it. So it's something that's going to be clicked on. It's definitely going to be in your top 3, results when you search anything. So it's something that's just very important. These are our Yelp stats. 319 people viewed it this week. I had 70 leads, 37 clicks to my website. Is 3 check-ins. The point is just that we have a lot of people viewing us, which is, again, to reinforce the point of don't neglect it. I can't really know it. Don't hate, use your advantage. Oh, okay, so when you have with the review sites like Yelp and even Foursquare or whatever, if you don't do anything, people will post on them and they'll find your restaurant or your business or whatever it is, and they'll start writing things and putting pictures. But I think it's much better to claim your business on any and all of these sites, and Google Plus also, which I'm probably pretty lax on. Claim your site, put your own pictures. For example, that's my picture, the first one you see. It's a picture of the place completely packed, a lot of people in it. If I didn't do that, it would just be like someone's crummy iPhone picture of a hot dog. So, I think it's just, you don't have as much freedom with Yelp or Foursquare or any of these to curate it as you would your own website, but you still have a lot of room to make it your own and make it look good, basically. I think acknowledging positive feedback is great, and a lot of people don't do that. It's basically high-fiving your customer and telling them thanks, that's great, hopefully see you again. I've had a lot of people where I've done that, and they come back, and they come back and tell me, oh my god, you're the guy that acknowledged me, whatever. And this can go for big businesses too, where if you have someone who's in charge of this, a social media intern, or a manager or whatever, just to show there's a human personality to the brand, which goes into the whole brand management thing I mentioned before as well. This is a guy who's loved our stuff. I just said, great to meet you, thanks so much, come back again soon. But just gives him the idea that someone really cares what he said, not just spouting off into the world. It's like a link between, the tech side of things and the human side of things. Negative feedback. This was you can't see the original review because he took it down, but this is a guy who gave me 1 star, said we used grade Z beef in our hot dogs, and he hated them, basically, which were mainly hot dog place. And you can see my counter at the bottom. You may not be able to read it. I basically said, we take pride in our hot dogs and our array of house-made toppings, but hot dogs aren't really for everybody because it's a force meat. It's a mass-produced force meat. But we do have grass-fed, organic, Patla-Frida hamburgers, which I went in the whole thing. Or I said I would have loved to have steered you towards that, or our organic chicken thigh meat sandwich. Next time, ask for me. I'd be happy to buy it for you. The guy never asked for me. I never bought him anything, but he did come back and buy a hamburger, change his review to 4 stars. Which is great. And even if he hadn't come back, I still think there's some value to that because you look like the bigger guy. This isn't just a conversation between you and this person. This is a conversation between me, that person, and those 307 people per week who are viewing my page on Yelp. They're all watching that conversation at all times. So it's important to be the bigger guy, in my opinion. The results of acknowledgement, people feel understood. You show you understand them. Yeah, like I said, you look great to everyone, I think. And you can really turn a bad review into a positive situation where someone comes back and becomes a regular customer. Conclusion, don't ignore it. If you manage a site like this, keep in mind that you should give some portal to the businesses themselves to manage their own reputations. I think that's a big thing. So, cool guys, thank you for your time. Yeah.